Hello, everyone. This is Life Well Spent. My name is Kelly, and on this channel, I document my financial journey. It is the beginning of January. I tend to film these videos before it started, but things got a little chaotic at the end of the month with some illness and things like that. So this is a couple days late, but it is my January budget. Okay, there's going to be a lot of long-winded videos coming your way, so we're just actually going to get right into the budget itself. For those of you who do not know this, I do what's called a zero-based budget, which means before the month even starts, I give every dollar that I have coming in an assignment to do. And so the first real struggle I'm going to have is, and I don't know if this is gonna actually hit before my spending plan video does, so this might be a little bit of a repeat, but, we'll see. I don't know what my income is gonna be for this year. So, um, at least to start the year, I work in education. We follow a fiscal calendar that ends June 30th. So like raises and stuff like that will come in on June 1st. Any tax code changes that go from year to year to year will also go into effect in January. So like that kind of like I can't even say in January that I'll make exactly what I made in December. Um, Plus like contribution limits and things like that will change. So I've upped my contributions to my HSA. However, I didn't it's not exactly. I've said this I think in my goal video. Um I for a long time was just because I hated going down to HR and filling out a form to be like, "Hey, take another $2 a pay out." Um and so I just got to the point where I was like, "You know what? Like when the IRS ups it like $50, I guess I'll just, you know, take the money out of pocket at the end of the year and put it in, and I can deduct it from my taxes when I do go to do my taxes. It's not a big deal." And then I learned part of the way through last year that I'm actually then paying other monies on that other taxes on those monies that I wouldn't normally have to pay if I just did it from a payroll deduction. So, about halfway through the year, I went and made the change, so I was having more taken out than I would normally because I wasn't fully contributing from payroll deductions. And so I made that change, so then even though the limit is a little bit more, I think it goes from 4,150 to 4,300, for 2025, even though the limit's a little bit more, I was, like, probably $650 maybe behind because of just how often there were jumps, um, in contributing that I was gonna have to end up paying out of pocket, and so since I have finally, like, made the proper adjustment, I think I'm actually contributing, like, $2 a pay less, so that would be money back in my pocket, number 1. Um, I have also decided that I guess that's number 2. Number 1 is the changes in taxes. 2 is gonna be changes in my HSA contributions, and the next one is that I've decided to restart contributing to my 403(b). I went to open up a 457 with the people that I have a 403(b) with, and I wasn't thrilled about the fees associated with them, but I did wanna get started with something, and that was when I originally started working where I'm at right now, and, um, it's definitely like an assets under management amount, in some way, shape, or form. I don't think it's terrible. I feel like they take out maybe like $3.75 every quarter or something. I don't contribute anymore. I stopped contributing when I bought my house because I very stupidly bought a house when I probably shouldn't have. I'm very, very fortunate that I did not get hosed because I could easily have gotten hosed with a dumb decision. Not necessarily a dumb like I just definitely wasn't financially ready. Um, and originally I thought, you know what, I'm going to stop these contributions because I just don't know what my bills situation is going to look like, and I don't know if I can afford to keep contributing, which is, part of the problem where there was a issue of probably shouldn't have bought the house because You have to be able to afford it. But anyway, I never really started them back up because I decided I really wanted to focus on paying off my consumer debt and building up a bigger emergency fund and things like that. And I thought, like, eventually I will get back to putting this money in there. And I decided instead to start contributing to a Roth IRA. So the money has just kind of been sitting there. Um, and I'm now kind of deciding to at least have some pre-tax money in something, because I thought, if I want to retire early and I hold off on taking my pension, it will increase. Like, the longer I wait to take it, like, the more it will increase it. Kind of cuts into the penalties, I guess. So I thought, all right, well, I want to be able to do that. I want to have that as an option. So I need to start, I think, doing some pre-tax money, because ultimately how the math works is that you save money long term in if you put money into pre-tax retirement accounts, because when you go to take them out, you're not taking out based on income, you're taking out based on your spending. Um, and for me, between I do pay into Social Security, so I will get Social Security. I do pay into a pension, so I will get pension. And my pension, if I do a full career, will be very similar to, like, the current take home that I have. Like, the take home I have at the end of my career. So if I were at the end of my career now, my take home would be very similar, because by the time, like, I'm not paying into um, pension, I'm not paying into insurance. Like, there's a lot of things I'm not paying into, and I wouldn't have to pay state taxes and stuff like that. So the take home ends up being very similar. Um, and that's awesome. But then when you look at, like, there's not a lot of tax dodging going on, because the income is still really high. So I was kind of like, but if I do Roth, then I don't have to worry about paying any extra taxes, things like that. And at this point, I'm kind of just saving to reduce a little bit of my tax burden and to kind of see what it does for me. Um, and I kind of thought, like, maybe I'll start a little bit and get things going. And I was actually able to open up a 403b in a Vanguard account. So I'm not paying, like, obnoxious fees, which is awesome. Super excited for that. But I have $100 a pay coming out, so I know that, like, my old take home was like 38 and change, almost 3,900. It was like 38.75 or something like that. So I know that I'm gonna have at least $200 less because I'm putting it in there somewhere, but I also know that I'll be getting some of that back to myself because it's gonna lower my tax burden. So I just really don't know what that's going to look like. So I left it at 3,600, and we'll figure out in January when I get my first paycheck what it's going to look like, which is not until next week, unfortunately. So $3,600 is what I'm budgeting off of for right now. Um, I am going to get about $85 from my mom, or I'm budgeting to get about $85 from my mom. She gives me $50 to put into a brokerage account for my niece. I do 50, she does 50, and then the other 35 is her contribution to our cell phone plan. We got rid of pretty much all of our streaming services, so she's not giving me any money for any of that. So total, that's the wrong arrow. Total $3,685 of income expected in January. Now, my expenses, my mortgage, 647.09. That is PMI has dropped off, so that's just principal, interest, taxes, and insurance all escrowed together. Electric, $49.30. Natural gas, $117.66, which is lower. Actually, they're both lower than what I had last year, which is kind of interesting because I feel like those rates have just jacked up. So it was not nearly as cold, so the heat wasn't on as much, and that's really what's saving my natural gas. But it's not like I wasn't in my house a lot, so I'm not sure why the electric bill is so low. Sewer, $63, that's a flat rate. Water, $18.97. It's not really a flat rate, but it's a minimum usage, and sometimes I go over. Most of the time I don't, so I just kind of put that in there as a way to budget for it. I don't think I got mine yet from December. I don't think it's come in the mail yet. It usually comes like the third or fourth of the month. Garbage, it's not a garbage month. I pay it quarterly. Internet, $61. That went up about $3 from $58. Cell phone, $70, which, you know, I just kind of remember that like half of that is my mother's, but yeah, so it's 35 for me, 35 for her. Groceries, I'm gonna budget for about $300, and I'm gonna actually see if I can do less than that, but I decided to start out at $300. I'm really gonna try to go through a lot of what I have in my pantry and cut back on the amount that I spend in groceries, and I'll talk about that when I actually do like my yearly wrap up. But for right now, I've left it at $300. And we will go from there. Life insurance, I also pay that quarterly, and it's not time. Gas, $200, which, all things considered, I probably should have done that 250, and groceries 250, because it's January. It looks to be a very cold January, which means I can do a lot of skiing. As a matter of fact, I'm doing that right now. I'm fixing this. Like, unfortunately, I don't live that near ski places. I'm an hour from like the closest one that's half decent, and my absolute favorite one's about 2 hours away. So it's a lot of driving in the winter when your engine's not nearly as useful. However, we do it's fake snow. It's a lot of fake snow, but the problem we've had in the past has been it's been so stinking warm that if it's going to precipitate, it's rain, or if it snows, and then it gets warm and it's getting to like the 40s and the 50s, and the snow just doesn't stay on the mountain. So I wish wish we'd get a huge snowstorm. It would be great if it snowed like a foot, because then like that snow would stick around all January, and I'd be able to do some cross country skiing, which I've not been able to do in years. Like, oh, there would be so many great opportunities. So yeah, I'm flipping them around. I'd rather skip meals if it meant that I had money to go skiing. I made a plan for skiing with my personal spending, don't get me wrong. But I wasn't really thinking about the fact that there's like a cold front that's just going to sit on us for like most of the month of January. So hallelujah, I can finally get some skiing in. All right, house and garden, $25. It's usually just random stuff, like if I end up needing like dish soap, you know, I I do like toilet paper and paper towels, like by the, huge things at Sam's Club. So I don't have any need for those anytime soon. Um, but yeah, it's just kind of the little stuff like that. I don't anticipate really needing anything, or I would up that. So it's just sort of there in case there's something I'm not realizing, or, some kind of cleaning supply, something. At this point, I'm just trying to get through what I currently have. Restaurant, I stuck restaurant at $75. My mom and I thought about doing this thing where we go out and find like a new restaurant every month, some place to go eat and enjoy. So I'm leaving it right there at 75. I may need to up that a little bit. We'll see how the year goes. I don't really want to be eating out a ton, but I do really love to go to trivia with friends, and my mom goes as well. And I kind of feel terrible to like just go and sit at a table and not eat food. So I kind of feel like you have to eat something there. All right. Fitness. This is a big one. I calculated about $381.85. $41.85 is the value of my gym membership. The other $340 is for some personal training that I am going to do. 2025 is going to be the year of Kelly's health and fitness. I am finally going to get my butt in shape. And, with that's going to definitely be some like weight loss and stuff, which has to happen. It's not necessarily my biggest concern. Other than like the problems that that I have, that I want to solve with exercise and things like that, will also be alleviated by just carrying less weight on my frame. So anyway, I know of myself that I need the motivation. I am not intrinsically motivated to work out. What I need is somebody who like is going to be expecting me to show up and, kind of kick my butt. So I'm looking at hiring a trainer from the Y. I met with him the other day. I'm not entirely sure I want to continue. I think I will do like one set of sessions with him. Like it was 12 sessions for about $340 that were half-hour sessions. He wants to do 45-minute sessions. And I'm kind of sitting at this point, I'm kind of like, my dude, I can warm up before, we can lift for a half an hour, and I can cool down afterwards. Like, why don't I like he wants the warm up and the cool down is part of the session. And so he's like, if you do 30, that's really only like 20 minutes of work of a workout. And I'm like, that's probably all my body can handle right now, to be honest, starting out, first of all. But second of all, I was like, but I can warm up before I come to you, and I can cool down after I'm done with you. And I was really anticipating that he would like it wouldn't just be I'm gonna go work out with him. Well, it was just that's the one they assigned me to, but I really kind of thought he would come up with a plan, and it was like, okay, so we'll decide how many days that you want to actually train with me specifically. And let's say it is twice a week, but you're going to lift 4 times a week. So we'll plan, okay, Monday, Wednesday, you're with me, Tuesday, Thursday, you're on your own. And then you'll do cardio on your own, like a whole, like kind of a whole program, really, is what I was expecting. And I'm not sure that's what I'm getting. So I'm sort of confused. I just met with him yesterday, so we'll kind of sort that out. But if it's not, um, I might also just kind of start and see how it goes and then kind of adjust from there. And I can do fewer sessions apparently. So I may need to change how that goes anyway. It's about $35 a session for a 45-minute session, I think, or a half-hour session. Um, which doesn't seem terrible. Uh, but yeah, I'm not quite sure. So what I might do is like pay for a couple of sessions, and I might then budget it out based on how many sessions I expect to go to per month. Um, I just kind of thought like you bought however many sessions in the package, and what they have on their website is not the same as what they actually do. So who knows? That may change a little bit. But I kind of do know, I think I'm gonna like wait a week or two before I even start because I don't think I can jump in the deep end, and I think he's gonna want me to jump in the deep end, and I think that will be painful, and I don't wanna do that. At one point, I told him, I was like, "I don't wanna train like I train in college," because and he was, like, really jacked that I was a Division I athlete, and he was like, "Oh my god, like, you'd be somebody who could work out." And I was like, "Okay, but, like, I don't wanna train like that anymore." Like, I don't wanna I get, like, you want to go to muscle failure and stuff like that, but I was like, "Our workouts, like, we were vomiting, like, I couldn't walk," I don't wanna do that anymore. I am 44 and a half years old. I don't need to train like that anymore. I don't want to train like that anymore. I'm not going for any competition or anything. So, anyway, personal $300. I upped that because I anticipate some vroom vroom skiing, mostly because it's winter, and honestly, until I realized it was gonna be cold all of January, that was really just wishful thinking. Miscellaneous, $100, also bumped it for that reason in case I decide that I can get more skiing in. $100 to my niece's brokerage. Like I said earlier, 50 from me, 50 from my mom. I didn't intend to put any money in my brokerage account, but I did not cancel the payment in time. They pulled it really, really early from Fidelity. Like Fidelity pulled it out of my bank account really, really early because of the holiday, I think. But my plan was to go in and get it earlier, and I went to do it, and I was like, "Wait a minute, they already pulled the contribution." So, $70.83. I will go over my spending plan for 2025, but adding to my brokerage account was not on that list, and I guess I'm getting one in. So, we'll see. $500 to my Roth IRA. At this point, I am still gonna max out my Roth IRA. If I we'll see anyway, like, that's the plan. If I need to divert those funds somewhere else, then so be it. Because I will say not all the funds, at least $200 worth, um, because I'm now contributing $200 a month to my 403b. All right. As far as my savings items, nothing's going in the emergency fund because huzzah, it's done. It's topped out. So, first plan is to top off all of my sinking funds that need to be topped off. One of those is my medical fund. It sort of occurred to me that I would need to pay out of that medical fund for my dental. And so I like originally I was like, "Oh, my max in my insurance is 2000, so I'll put 2000 in there." And then I went to the dentist and paid out of pocket for that, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, I have to pay for this too with my HSA. Okay, that's more than $2,000 in a year, so I should probably up that." So I put it up to, 1,000. I think my deductible for my, teeth is 1,000. So, um, I'm gonna work towards getting that. I need to get it up to there, but by July 1 because that's when our insurance year kicks around, switches off and, switches to the new year because, public service fiscal year. So, I was kinda doing the other ones first that were gonna be a little bit smaller, and then what I might do is, depending on how much I get with my tax return, I might be topping it off there. So, um, anyway, subscriptions, I am gonna top off next month because it's just a little bit of money. Um, I'm gonna top that off at about 1,000, and then I'm not gonna contribute at all for the year because that should actually do me for the whole year. I should not need to put any more in. Um, and actually it's probably more than I need, but, like, I'm not gonna have to monthly contribute because I put enough in there and we canceled so many of them, and I didn't if you watched some of my earlier videos, I didn't make the change because I was like, "I don't really know what this is gonna look like next year." So for right now, like, worst case scenario, I've put it in there, it's sitting in a high yield savings account earning me extra interest, and worst case scenario, I don't need it and I move it to the emergency fund or something. So, we'll see how that's gonna go. House repair still has $1,000 in it, so I'm not putting anything in there. Nittany Lion Club, I budget to put $17 in. I always put $17 in. I will be paying that out because I always pay it out in January. And now that it's January 3rd, I think I can get on that. Nothing in the giving fund. I have changed the amount that I'm gonna do in my giving fund. So nothing's gonna get contributed to there right now. Car insurance, $59. I pay that twice a year and I will pay it out in February. Car repair, $4.89 to top that off at $1,000. My gift fund is zeroed out. Um, so I have to start putting that money back in. So that's going to get to 100. I think I'm going to try to top that off at 1,000 because I get to the end of the year and I'm always a little short. Um, and I haven't decided yet what I'm gonna do. I don't think I'm gonna make Christmas gifts for people next year. I usually do, like, food style gifts, but, and I usually participate in a gift exchange at work, and I don't think I'm gonna be able to because our plan is to go to the Christmas markets, and I think I'm gonna miss, like, all of the time that I have to even shop for it. And I think that I will end up just being exhausted, um, and not really want to buy or make any gifts. Now, I may try to buy, like, a little souvenir style gift for people in, the Christmas markets if I can find something that's kind of, inexpensive, but not, like, cheap looking, and go from there. So we'll see. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. Again, worst case scenario, the money's there and I don't need it. $130.79 to the garden. I'm trying to kind of get that one going because and I'm probably gonna do like I think what I wanted to do is top this, make this an even number. Yeah. So that'll have 400 and I'll just do, um maybe $100 the next couple of months because come April, I need to like have the money to buy what I need to buy starting in April. Travel, I'm putting $50 into the travel fund. Clothing, $75.89. It's a random one because I'm trying to make that 100, and then I need to start working on getting that up to 600. Christmas markets, I have a line item for this, which I didn't do for the Bahamas because I thought about it way too late. And so this time I was like, ding, ding, ding. I'm changing that to a Bahama or changing that from a Bahamas to a Christmas markets. Our plan next year over Thanksgiving is to go visit the European Christmas markets. So I'm taking what I did with the Bahamas is I was putting just $20 a week aside as my like just have fun spending money. And so, I'm gonna do the same thing with my Christmas markets, and this is basically just gonna be my, like, it'll probably be my food money, it'll be, like, my souvenir money, and just money that, like, I don't have to think about and I can just blow if I want. So, it'll give me about, I think, 1,040. Um, so it'll be pretty exciting. Be good stuff. I already have $140 in there because I basically in January or in December, I kind of went back and was like, "Oh, well here. So if I had started here when, we got back from the Bahamas, then I would have this much in there." So I kind of backfilled it for myself so that I would get to a full year um, of savings. So that's there. I'm doing $80 for the month because it's $20 a week. Health and fitness, $87.73. I added a new health and fitness sinking fund category, and I did this because I want to set some money aside so that when I have to pay for however many sessions I'm paying for, like I haven't even decided, even like the 12-week package, I was like, maybe I could do one a week. And my thought was because I assumed the planner, like the trainer would come up with a plan and but that I wouldn't, like I would do all these other workouts on my own and only do some with him. So I was like, maybe I could do like start doing like twice a week or something, or maybe just start once a week. And if I did once a week, like that 300 almost $400 gets me, you know, almost 3 months worth of training. So like maybe I want to do it that way. And yeah, it doesn't sound like that's what's happening. So that's honestly it's a little frustrating. But again, my problem is the habit. My problem is getting my butt there and working out. And, I don't want to like waste time and energy there. I want to actually like get something out of it. So that's kind of where I'm at. I don't know. But anyway, I thought a sinking fund would be a pretty good idea because if I can get the money in there so that when it comes time to pay for another set of sessions, I don't have like this $400 gaping hole in my budget. So that's the point of that, is to try to get that built up a little bit. So we'll see. A new sinking fund for me this year also is my new car fund, and I don't have anything in it yet. Once these things get all topped off, then all the money goes towards the new car fund. That's the game plan for this year anyway. So, all right. What are you guys doing in January? What kind of things are on the radar for you to buy? Are you going to do kind of like a no buy year, a no buy month, or a no spend? So clearly I have spending that's going on. I thought about doing a no spend January and I was like, I'm going to have so many caveats because I'm not going to not ski if skiing is available. So I don't think it's worth it for me for January, but who knows? We'll see what we decide to do in the future throughout the year. Also, if anyone uses a personal trainer that's like a virtual personal trainer, somebody online or a program, whatever, leave a comment. Let me know what you use because I'm honestly starting to wonder if that's not, when I would look them up, I'd be like, oh my God, that seems obnoxiously expensive. But compared to what I think I'm going to be getting in person, maybe it's not. So anyway, if you have any recommendations of like trainers, specific trainers, or like sites that, companies or whatever that have virtual trainers, definitely leave a comment down below. Let me know. All right. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.